connected with a man, and by understanding and submission, I became a benefactor of God's grace upon his life. But you hear a stupid person say, we are all equal before God. We are not. I'm answering you now. We are not equal, and we are not all men. Abraham was God's friend. The Lord loved David. David was his friend. In their dispensation, there were other men. God didn't call them friend. Lot was a human being like Abraham. His whole family would have died but for the intervention of Abraham. Men are not men. Men are not equal. We are not equal before God. We have classmates, age mate, mate, but they are not grace mates. Grace is not by age. Grace is not by age. Grace is vested. The Bible says he uses the foolish things of this world to confound the wise. Oh, you didn't get what I'm saying? Fathers are not fathers because you chose them. Fathers are fathers because God chose them. Be careful when you start relating with a prophet based on his age. Apostles are not their age. They are their spirit potency. They are their spirit capacity. They are their consecration. They are what they carry in the spirit. Listen, there is the fear of priesthood. You can't play around priesthood. Listen to me, sir. Even when your spiritual parents are friendly, they are not your friends. You can receive a prophet as a brother. You can receive a prophet as a colleague. It says receive him as a prophet. That's when the reward flows. It means the reward is always there. It only comes when you receive him as a prophet. God decided to make a man king. He took a prophet and said, go down to the house of Jesse. Sir, I came to Boya to anoint a David. I came to Boya to make an Esther. I came for somebody. You must receive Samuel as a prophet so that his oil can work in your family. Sir, there are fathers of faith here, great men of God, but the people are not receiving. God has given you prophets. God has given you apostles. It is time to receive from your prophets. A prophet is not honored in his home. That's why they do less. The moment a person is rising, we start talking against them. Children sit down to talk against fathers. You can receive from the anointed without the anointed deciding to give to you by honor. The Bible said people were pressing on Jesus. A woman came with honor, held the helm of his garment. Somebody was touching the whole garment and received nothing. Another person held only the helm of his garment. The Bible said the blood issue for 12 years disappeared. Jesus did not lay hand. Jesus did not speak a word. She only came with honor. When a nation does not honor a prophet, it becomes a problem. You must honor your prophets. You must honor your fathers. There are fathers in this nation. A father is trekking after doing ministry for years, and all a son can do is to mock him, and the son is driving 3 cars. Give one of the cars to the father. What are you doing with 3 cars when the father? Listen, young prophet, you have been blessed for fathers, not for yourself alone. You cannot be lifted, and there are fathers who have done ministry for years. They don't have even one house, and you are driving 10 cars. Dr. Aiden, I always ask myself a question. My mom was not a Pentecostal. She did not understand intercession. We were religious and just going to a religious church. Who interceded for me? I don't even know who interceded for me. Maybe it's an old man. And his children probably don't like the work of ministry because they saw their father. And it is the same young people to point a hand at fathers and speak. Listen to me, sir. If the car can drive freely on the road, it is because the caterpillar dug it. The caterpillar had to face the lions. He had to face the honeybee. Oh, car, when you drive on a third road, honor the labor of caterpillars. Honor the labor of heavy-duty vehicles. Sir, caterpillars don't run with speed, but they make the road for cars that run with speed. If a father makes the road for you, honor him. Your problem is not the government, Cameroon. Your problem is not the government. The help of every nation. The Bible says that the government shall be upon his shoulder. When our fathers are lifted, when prayers go forth, when fathers carry the nation is released. The anointed men in this nation. There are young people whose voices have not been heard because they don't know how to honor fathers. Take a seat, young man. You are struggling with that church project. You have saved 5 million for 5 years. That's not how you will build the church. Go to a father who has built. Go to a father who has labored. Take an offering and drop it there. Before we started this ministry, God sent me to some places. I did not start this ministry. It was my father in the Lord, Dr. Apostle Tambejim Wambua, who told me that it is time. Man of God, my spiritual father is with a mission church. They moved him from his base and sent him to another base. When I look at my father's capacity in word and everything, mentally, I think that place is not for him. He went there. Those are the kind of fathers we have. Your father is not your father because of results. It's your father because God sent you there. A man can be anointed for a thing and be bankrupt of that thing. Be careful when God is making his men. Pastor Thibault, do you know how God makes men? Do you know how God makes men? God does not make prophets in the forest. God makes prophets in the palace. And then he instead made kings in the forest. Where was David? Where was David? Where was David? David was in the palace. God wanted to make a king in David. He took him to the forest. And that's where he made his king. When God wanted to make a prophet in Moses, he took him to the palace. So be careful. A prime minister was in the prison being made a prime minister. Be careful. Be careful. Be careful. The way God makes men is funny. There's a father carrying the dimension you need. That grace is available here now. There are people who are here after disrespecting fathers. Now that you are submitted here, keep connection with that father. Sow in his life from time to time. While you stay here, since this is where God has sent you, as you connect to this place where God has sent you, keep touch with that man. He's no longer your father in the Lord, but he was the man God used to bring you here. Learn from your father. I have one spiritual father and several mentors. If I go to a crusade, Pastor Thibault, and a man of God takes a house from America and bring it to Nchang, he's not my father. If you pray and somebody's eye leave his eyes and go to his ears, you are not my father. My father is the one spoken to me by God. They are talking against fathers. A young man who is starting ministry yesterday is talking. Where did we get this rascality from? God has positioned fathers in the past who failed by dishonoring graces. They have taught us. Have you not learned from the lives of fathers like Bishop Oyedepo what honor does in submission? Look at where he is. Have you not learned? Have you not learned? Have you not learned? Have you not learned? Who is teaching you? Oh, Church of Cameroon. Oh, Church of Cameroon. It is time to receive from fathers. It is time to receive.